So, what do we have in our mystical jewelry box today? Could that be who I think it is? Is that the face of the Green Man? Hail, Green Man. Thank you for joining us today. Hail to the Green Man. Well, good morning, Tubies. It's Lord Ision. Welcome to Wiccan Wednesday. I just dug out my jewelry box, my mystical Green Man pendant. We're going to talk about the Green Man today, so hang out with us. Well, on Wiccan Wednesday, what else would Lord Ision be doing but dressing in a Wiccan way? So I've got on my green pentacle shirt today, and I just put on my pendant of the Green Man. Isn't he beautiful? See the notice that his third eye is a green jewel. Isn't he wonderful? So we're wearing that today and attuning to the green energies. You know, the last few days I've been reading this book, The Secret Craft of the Wise, Magical Herbalism by Scott Cunningham. Really recommend this. Thought I'd read a little passage of this book to you here. And it says, "There are witches still who walk unshod upon the earth and listen to the murmurings of the trees and garland themselves with sacred herbs while the moon watches far above. What remains of their fabled lore is fragmented, a patchwork of beliefs, knowledge, and rituals. These remnants, however, are just as effective today as when they were born in a more magical age. Herbal magic is one of the easiest, safest, and most joyous methods of reestablishing earth roots, of returning to a healthy and natural life. It touches the essence of life itself with simple rituals and few props." You know, it's great to read books on herbal magic, but I think that we have to actually go out into nature to really see and experience the magic of herbalism. Hail to the Sun Lord! Our Sun Lord, who gives life to the plants and the herbs, is shining brightly today. Hail! Sun Lord, we ask your blessing. I invoke your power now for all of my YouTubers. May your light illumine their minds and hearts and souls, that they will have joy, peace, and prosperity. Thank you, gracious God of the sun. Hail, mystic Sun Lord. Bless our work today. So mote it be. So mote it be. When you get out and walk on the earth, it restores you. You know, as I look across this lush green field, I'm aware of how lush and rich are the clover here, the shamrocks. I swear you think I lived in Ireland with as many shamrocks are in Virginia. Look at the beautiful flowering clover here. Isn't that something? Yes, this is wonderful. The clover, our life itself, the triple goddess, maiden, mother, and crone, or father, son, and sage. The god and the goddess are seen in the three-folded plant of the clover, or known as the shamrock. Yes, getting out and walking in nature is healing. Just don't touch poisonous plants. As long as you stay away from the poison oak and poison ivy, you'll probably be okay. You know, I'm so inspired by this majestic oak behind me here. Shall we take a look at it? And here towers above us a giant ancient oak, probably 100 years old, touching the sky. Oak is a very powerful tree. It's known as the tree of the god Thor. It's also Zeus's tree in ancient Greek mythology. And this tree is known as a tree of power. And that if you make a wand from oak, it's known as it grants power of protection. Many of the ancient druids and Wiccans and priests would walk with oak staffs as a sign of power and authority. Walk gently upon the earth. Treat it with reverence. Try not to hurt as little as you can. And here we are approaching this majestic oak. Look at this. Isn't this amazing? You know, perhaps we can fashion an herbal charm today. Let's take a look at this, shall we? As we approach this tree, it's massive in size. It's about 4 or 5 feet in diameter. It's hard to capture the size on camera, but this looks very much like the ancient grandmother oak that I visited in the park. This might actually be older than 100. It's probably 200 years old. The trees have ancient wisdom, and if we spend time among them, we can absorb some of their knowledge. Ask a tree to teach you. Let it inspire you and open your mind to its knowledge. How much has this tree seen? How many people over 200 years have passed beneath its branches? It probably knows more about life than any of us. It's beautiful. Can you see it up into its branches? When you approach a tree, be quiet, be calm, be reverential. Look at the life forms that are supported by this tree. This lovely ivy is growing. It embraces the tree. And I'm not sure what these plants are, but they're the most beautiful blue flowers. Look at these. It almost looks like a little fairy with its wings flapping. I don't know what the plant is, but it's lovely. And if we look around the base of the tree, look at the beautiful blue flowers here. Can you see them? An whole ecosystem exists connected to this massive giant oak. Let us walk around the base of the tree reverentially. I would go clockwise, but there's ivy and stuff I don't want to damage, so we'll go counterclockwise. But as you can see behind me here, this tree is beautiful. Look at its roots. Look how large they are, going down into the earth. And back here is a small little tributary that runs of water that gives life to the trees. Is this not a mystical place of the Fae? A magical tree? I wish I could capture on film really how majestic this tree is. It's kind of hard to really capture it. But I hope you get some idea of its size and beauty and majesty. Look at the little tributary here. Little creek running off into the green wood. When you're near a tree like this, look for fallen branches. They could be sources of power for wands or magical charms. There's our Sun Lord filtering through. And as I look upon the ground, look what I've found. Some branches that are down. This could make a wonderful wand. And you know, today I think we'll do a little charm. Actually, this might be better for today's project. It's a little thinner. So I think we'll take that with us. We have a piece of oak branch that has come down. This carries the power of the great oak in it. When you walk, be observant of all the green flora. You may also see the face of the green man or sacred symbols. Here as I look at this plant, and I'm not sure what this plant is, I see the sign of the pentagram. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's a 5-pointed star. There's magic right there. And look right next to it. Holly. Holly is a protective herb. We could take a little piece of this for good luck. May I take a small bit from you, my dear? Just one leaf. We don't want to hurt the plant. Yeah, we've taken one leaf. The plant itself is not destroyed. And look here in our palm, a holly leaf. You could bind this up in a little mojo bag and carry it with you. It's an herb of protection. And as we look through the lush greenery, let us be mindful to see if we see the face of the green man. Could he be peering out to us from among his greenery? As I walk around this tree, I look at its base and its roots. When you're near a tree, notice its roots, for many times they point towards doorways. There appears to be a hole going into the earth. I'm pointing with this stick here. Do you see through there? It looks like a doorway. That could be a doorway into the realm of the Fae. And what's interesting is that this tree sits on a mound, a rounded mound. And in the ancient days, it was believed that natural mounds were signs of Fae entrances. So here we have a rounded hill, and it appears to be a doorway going into the earth through that tree. Could this be signs of the Fae? Perhaps so. But only those who spend time and observe will know. What a majestic oak. Hail to the green man, hail to Thor, hail to Zeus and all the gods of the oak. When you find a majestic oak or a mystical tree or plant, spend time in contemplation. It's rare in our modern world to find these treasures, for so much of the world destroys them. And so here this sacred oak has remained for probably 200 years or more. And so we should reverence its life and spend time. Let us give a blessing to the oak for all the blessings it gives us. Mr. Oak, may I approach you and give you a blessing? Just ask with reverence. And then you may lay your hands upon the tree and say, gracious oak, I give you my blessing as a Wiccan priest. I, Lord Ision, bestow upon you the blessings of the Spirit for continued prosperity, health, and long life. May you have peace and joy. So mote it be. So mote it be. Here this pentacle I lay, for blessing and protection by night, by day. So mote it be. Bless you, Father Oak. May the green man live within you always. So mote it be. So having found our treasured gift from Father Oak, let us now go and fashion a charm of magic. And we will carry this blessed tree's power with us always. I tell you, I really feel the presence of the green man today. And I'm so glad I have his image with me. And I'm so glad I'm wearing my green pentacle that helps me to tune to this beautiful day of nature. While you're out walking, be mindful of other charms that you may encounter. Here I found a lovely little oak branch. We could trim this down and make a miniature stang to put on our altar. So let's explore that. Green man, let us know you care. Let us run in wild winds and run with free green hair. Green man, let us know your ways. We are here and you are here, and let us pray we all stay. That's a song I just made up. What a beautiful day. Oh, our Sun Lord is majestic. Look at it. Hail to the Sun Lord. You see, the God of nature manifests in the sun and in the trees and in the grass. He's really unlimited, you know. I love the green man, one of my deities. Well, Tubies, I'm back in the house, and I have with me the wonderful oaken branches that we found. And we're going to do a charm today from this book, Magical Herbalism. And we're going to make a magical protection charm. So if you have this book and you want to look it up, go to page 53. And I'm going to read through what we're going to do today. So it says, finally, for a personal protective charm, take twigs from an oak or rowan tree. And here we have twigs from an oak tree. So we don't have a rowan tree, but we got oak tree branches. So that works according to the book. It says, put them down on your altar into a solar cross shape, equal armed cross, the antecedent of the Christian symbol. Bind them together in this shape with red thread. Touch it with the point of your magic knife and infuse it with protective purpose. So I've got my shears here, and I just took a little piece off the end to see how these worked. Now we could just snip these extra pieces off, and whatever you trim, don't throw away, save it, because you can use it in other charms. Carefully, as we always say, don't rush this process. Take your time. This is a magical working, and you want to be reflective. Think about the majesty of the oak. Feel the power as you touch the branch. Now you can make your charm any size you want, tiny or large. I'm going to make this about 5 inches size cross. It's a nice size for protection. So I've trimmed off the little scraggly branches, and now we're here into the main part. So we're going to just trim this off. Oops, there we go. And now we have one part of our charm, and we'll do another equal length piece. And here we now have 2 pieces of the oak branch at equal size. Now, according to the book, we want to set those into a cross shape. Equal arm. Now, the Christian cross would have the bar up here, but the pagan cross has the bar right in the center. And this is to represent the 4 elements: earth, air, fire, water. It could also equal the 4 seasons: spring, summer, winter, and fall. There are a lot of different reasons and meanings behind the cross. It also represents the solar cross. In fact, it's oftentimes called the Solar Cross. Nowadays, a lot of people call it the Greek cross, but that's actually a later Christian name for it. And it's used by the Greek Orthodox Church, but it actually was a pagan symbol, the equal arm cross, the solar cross, because it represented the sun moving through the seasons: spring, summer, winter, and fall. So there you go. Now we put that in a cross form like that. And now it says, according to the book, to bind the cross with red thread. Well, I happen to have this wonderful sacred red thread from India, so it's doubly powerful. It's not only red thread, but it's from India, and it's already blessed. So we're going to use this red thread to bind up our cross. So now I've tied the first knot here, and then we want to start a process of wrapping the thread. And I would encourage you, as you wrap it, be reflectful. You could invoke any deity, the green man to bless you, or Thor, or Zeus, any of the gods associated with the oak or with nature. So as you can see, I've now started to wind the cord around. Now, I actually need to cut off more cord. And if you realize that you don't have enough, just tie it off and begin again. Now, when you're wrapping it, twist it around all the different sides. You can crisscross, go back and forth, over and under, and really get a good binding. Now, this thread that I have happens to have yellow in it. It's not pure red, but that's okay, because you could think of this as the colors of the Sun Lord infusing your charm, which really the Sun Lord blesses the oak and gives it life. So I think it's okay if you have a little gold in there. I don't think it's going to hurt. But red is the predominant color. So I'm trying to hold the camera here and show you this. But you just want to wrap your thread around. And you can go all sort of directions, front to back. See how I'm wrapping it? There's no one way to do it. Just wrap it however you want. Try to cover all the arms. And as you wrap it, say a prayer and say, "Gracious green man, bless our charm with your mighty power. May it be a protection for all of us." See how that's going? Just keep going round and round. And crisscross over and under. And you can turn your cross as you wrap it. Try to make sure you keep the cross centered and the bars in a straight angle as you work on it. So there you go, little by little. And as you can see, we're making a good binding here with our red thread. And some people like to cover the entire branch all the way through, but I'm going to just do the center part. According to the book, you just have to bind it at the center. And I think leaving the natural wood to be visible is really, part of the power here. And when you feel like you've bound enough and said enough prayers, then just knot it off on one end. I just looped it around and created a little simple knot here. And then you can just trim off the excess string just with your scissors. So we'll just trim that off right up here. All right. Now, as I'm looking at this, I realize that, and this will happen when you do this charm, sometimes your sticks will slide a little bit and it'll be a little off center. So it doesn't have to be perfect, but what you can do at that point to make it look a little more balanced, because see, it's a little long on this side. This got slid down a little bit. Just trim off a little edge to make it look a little more balanced. And there now I've trimmed off just a little bit of that one edge. And now we have a wonderful fine charm. And now, according to the book, once we've made our charm, we are to touch it with the point of your magic knife and infuse it with protective purpose, saying these or similar words. And it says, Rowan or oaken tree and scarlet thread, I conjure thee to be a protection and safeguard against all adversity and evil. Protect me well. So let's go ahead and do that. And so using our athame, the athame is the witch's black-handled knife. This is an athame I'm pressing into service. So according to the book, we touch it here. So just touch it with your knife and say, in this case, we're going to use the word oak because it's an oak tree. Oaken tree and scarlet thread, I conjure thee to be a protection and safeguard against all adversity and evil. Protect it well. And I like to trace the sign of the pentacle over it as well. So mote it be. There you go. Now, according to the book, it says, always wear or carry it with you. It can be placed in a wallet, purse, etc. The same charm can be made of larger branches and hung up in a room for protection. So we could make this into a pendant, but I'm just going to keep this as a room charm. It's small enough I could carry it in my bag as well, but we could have made a smaller one to wear as well. Maybe we'll do that later in the week. So it says, as with all things, prevention is easier than curing when protective measures have not been taken or maintained. However, purifications are sometimes necessary. So, occasionally we'll want to recharge it and repurify it, run it through incense smoke and, put it out in the sunlight to recharge. But there you go. There's one of our awesome magical charms. So you see, tubies, magic is all around us. And isn't that a wonderful little charm to make today? I hope you've enjoyed this. This charm came from the book Magical Herbalism by Scott Cunningham, The Secret Craft of the Wise. So tell me in the info box below, do you think that you are going to make a magic charm? Have you ever made this charm? Maybe you already have one. Tell me about any magic charms that you've made. I'd love to hear from you. Well, tubies, it is so good to be with you. Thank you for joining us on this Wiccan Wednesday. Tell me in the box below about your magical charms, and maybe tell me if you think you're going to try this. I think it's a wonderful, simple charm that anybody could make. Look, it didn't cost me anything but a little red thread, and the rest was provided by Mother Nature. So there you go. Well, listen, guys, make sure to help me out now. Like this video, favorite it, share with your friends, hit subscribe, join our channel. We would love for you to be here. And while you're here, go over to my website, PsychicBob.com, and register for this Saturday's psychic development class. We're going to study on how to read past life information for people around you. So come out and join our psychic class. It's only $30, 2-hour class with Psychic Bob live on Zoom, where I answer your questions. You will interact with me live. So if you'd like to learn and develop your psychic gifts, come out to Saturday's class. Register over at PsychicBob.com. It will notify me once you register, and I'll send you the Zoom link on Saturday. We're having our class from Saturday from 12 p.m. Eastern U.S. time till 2 p.m., 2-hour class. And I'll send out the link about a half hour before the class. All you got to do is click on the link I send you, and it'll bring you right into the classroom. It's all automated. So I hope you'll come out and join us. You guys rock. Well, listen, Psychic Bob got work to do. I got readings to do. I got to help Mom. And we'll have Mom tomorrow. She'll be in our video. So listen, be back here tomorrow. We'll see you then. Right now, Psychic Bob B, out of here.